All right, guys, let's take a quick look at Optimism here. Now, Optimism, as you know, is one of my favorite coins. And recently, it's, doing a little better. Now, you do see that it did drop down to almost $1.20 here. It has regained quite a bit of that. It's sitting at around $1.65. Now, keep in mind, this number is not moving because I am in the USA, and Binance doesn't really function here that well. I have to kind of refresh this if I want to see it. Now, I just refreshed it before I made the video, so this is pretty recent data here with this price. So anyways, it needs to move up to about $1.83, and it's got to break some weekly resistance. And then you have this long-term trend line that I've drawn a long time ago. And let me put this on the daily just so you can see it a little bit better, a little bit easier. You can see that this trend line extends all the way back from, July of 2022, so basically for 2 years. And this is the biggest drop below that we've ever had from this trend line. So I do believe we're going to make our way back up here to $1.83. Now you can see we did struggle with this on the daily at the end of June and the beginning of this month as well, before we had a big drop. And yeah, that's what we need to do, guys. This is the next couple of resistances, and then you have after that the weekly resistance at about 218 and 236, and then you got a daily resistance sitting up here at about $2.53. We really need to get above this zone to say that we're bullish. So basically $3 is where we need to push. If we're below $3, I would say it's not really bullish. But I do believe Optimism is going to make up this ground and get back up there. It's just going to take some time, guys. Now, Bitcoin also sitting around 58,000. It did get kind of a W pattern, as you can see here, and it did break this little neckline here. And it's kind of retesting that at the moment. So we'll see if it can hold this. But it does need to break this trend line. Now, this trend line has extended back from the beginning of June, basically, so it's like a month-long trend line. It did try to break out at the beginning of this month, as you can see, but was rejected by these three weekly resistances, basically. Now, this area is going to be kind of a strong area of resistance because you have three daily resistances sitting here. And, so anyways, guys, that's what Bitcoin needs to do. Let's just hope, it doesn't go back into this Fibonacci here, because you have only 52.2 sitting below us, and that's the next support. So, this trend line, I can extend it down, and it's got to make a decision basically by what? The 13th. That's 3 days, guys. So it's either going to break this trend line and head up to 60.2, and then you have the 61.3 basically, a weekly resistance, or it's going to break below this Fibonacci, and we don't have much holding us up until 52.2. So let's see. Now, economically on the calendar, tomorrow you got CPI and you got continuing jobless claims. You got, earnings and Cleveland CPI. Many things happening tomorrow. You got retail sales also. You've got Bostic speaking. Yeah, guys, you got a lot going on tomorrow. But on Friday, you do have China, import-exports. You do have a lot of European data, like, French CPI, you got Spanish CPI, you got German WPI, things like this. But the main event really would be the core PPI. And you do have Michigan numbers later in the day, but this PPI is the most important. So this is what Fed Powell wants to see. And, the Fed meeting at the end of the month, we'll see what happens, guys. We could get a surprise cut if we have, good numbers in our favor. So anyways, guys, that's what I got for you, basically, with Optimism. And like I said, it's got to break about $1.83 and then pop back above this trend line. Now that trend line is sitting at about $1.93, 94 for us right now. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be bullish after it breaks through $3 really. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next.